Hey guys, I'm a little bit crunk right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an alcoholic. I have to think about it, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about like that saying. Oh, my head's spinning right now. Hold up. Like Wendy Williams? No, that's mean. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, like we're talking about like instances where like we say things like, "Oh, like that would never be me." Like I would never. Like, girl, I get you did that, but like me personally, like I could never. Like, what do you mean? Like that man like took me for a fool. Like he ran me over and I took him back. Like I could never do that. But then there I was like under the car, and then I got back in the car with the same nigga, and then he took me to the hospital after he ran me over. It's just like the thing in life is like me personally, like let's talk about like debt and stuff. Like me personally, like I was running my finances bad. Like I was on that like bad. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my shit done. Like me never, like I had all the credit available to me, and I was like, like me personally, like I could never put myself in debt because it's like be responsible. Like no. But then when life starts hitting, it's like there I am in those same shoes that I swore I would never wear. And I just look around and I'm like, maybe I should shut the fuck up. Like, I was like, maybe I should have closed my mouth because here I am in those shoes. Like, now I'm wearing those shoes. Like, you seen Claudia Chance of Meatball spray on shoes? Like, I had those shoes on and now they're not getting, like, get off my feet. Like, wait, why aren't you getting off my feet? That's why it's like, don't speak too soon because you swear like it could never be you until the day where it is you. Now, what do you have to say? We don't have shit to say. Like, there's nothing you can say. All I can do is blank stare. You're just sitting there like. That's why it's like, I get it. Like, even with like toxic relations and stuff, like, I see it around me and I tell myself, like, I would never do it to myself. Like, I wouldn't want to hurt myself. Like, I couldn't be with someone who was like putting their hands on me, speaking nasty to me until the day came where I wanted company so fucking bad to the point where I was that person. And then I looked at myself and I was like, wow, like I was judging those people around me for doing that. And then when I was put in those shoes, I understood exactly how they got there. And that's when I stopped judging because I was like, this is why I say, like, again, this is not why I say, sorry. I know I'm talking about, I swear. But it's like, that's why they say, like, never judge a book by its cover. And I get it. And it's like, it's like the same way. It's like, I said it before. One thing I did say before is like, don't like try to understand something when you're from like the outside of the box looking in because you don't know how it feels. That's why when I was there with that individual, I understood like why it is that people will stay with someone even though they're bad. And maybe I guess the circumstances like they differ depending on the person. And for me, when I was in those shoes, it was just like I've never been so close to someone. I've never had someone like there for me. I've never had someone there who was calling me and wanted to actually do things with me. Like I've never had that before. And what came from that was me sacrificing my peace just to have somebody there. And then over time, I realized like this is not worth my sanity. Like what this is doing to me is not worth my being. That's why I had to get out of there. Like I don't care. Like I had to take that sandpaper and scrub off them spray on shoes. Like bitch, you coming off my feet right fucking meow. But it was like I got it. Like it. This is the thing. It wasn't a 1 month, 2 week thing. It was almost a year thing. But some people they get out of it, but depending on the person they're with, like they won't let them get away. But for my sake and sanity, I had to spare myself and tell myself, well, do you want to live this way? With where you're going in life, does this align with your values, your morals, and your view on life? It didn't. So for my own sake, I had to get out of there. And as much as I didn't want to, I had to. Why? Because a lot of the time in my life, I'm prioritizing other people's well being over my own. But if prioritizing someone else came with me being casted on a stake and being burnt, I don't think it was worth it. So I had to make a very harsh decision. It hurt to make that decision because I didn't want to be alone anymore. I was alone for so long, for so long. And the one time I had someone there, it was like, do I stay here or do I go? Like, do I stay with someone who's hurting me or do I go be alone with at least like the most that's gonna come is that voice in my head, like sometimes leading me to bad news or just like bad thoughts. But I said, you know what? Honestly, as much as I don't want to be alone, maybe it's for the better, you know? And that's why I had to leave. Like, I had to, and I cried a lot. I did cry. I'm a very emotional person. I say it all the time. But I cried, and it wasn't like I cried because I was just like sad or anything. It was just like I cried because I felt like what was to me like the best man, I had to let them go. And I didn't want to because, of course, I was thinking about myself at the time, but I was also thinking about them because, you know, when I care about someone, like I care with like my whole entire heart. For me, it's like, it's not 50% like, babe, I'm all in. So when I had to let them go, it was like, I don't want you to be alone, but if you're killing me, then I don't think I could allow you to stay here. You know, as much as I want more for the both of us, it's like my life shouldn't be the cost of your well being, you know? Like, why can't we just be two people and make things work? And I tried. That's the thing. Like, during that 10-month trial, like I tried and I tried and I tried different ways. You know, when a formula isn't working, you try different ways to make it work. You try different ways to make that color appear what it is supposed to be. But I just found that it was never coming out that color. And as much as I tried, it was not working. So I had to switch up the whole formula. And I said, you know what? Respectfully, I have to remove this in order for it to work. And removing it, it was like at first the reaction I was looking for wasn't entirely working out, but over time, the more I mixed it and mixed it and mixed it, it did start to become the color I was looking for. And it brought me to tears, of course, because it was like I just felt like I sat there, you know, watering a flower over and over and over, and it was just not growing. But then I realized, you know, maybe it wasn't water that you needed, but it was just to be put out there on your own for you to grow, for you to be in sunlight. And maybe you didn't need the water that I was offering. So I said, you know what? If me letting you go made you grow, then as much as it hurt me knowing that I no longer was able to care for this flower that I cared for so much, for your well being and for my sake, I have to let you go in order for you to grow. And I realized that as much as it hurt, regardless, sometimes you can do as much as you feel is needed. You could give as much as you feel is needed. But sometimes you just have to let people go on their own for them to realize that, well, they can't give me what it is I'm looking for. And the problem that I have, it seeks within. So I have to deal with that on my own because it's not them. It's me. It's genuinely me. And I'm speaking from a third person narrative. And I'm not talking about me personally because, bitch, no. But it's them. Some people, they need to be left on their own in order for them to maneuver and realize and self-reflect and realize, like, maybe I'm the problem. And not everybody is like that because some people do lack self-awareness, but it's a pill that you must swallow. As much as you don't want to, babe, you have to take that pill and you have to come to the realization that there's people like me who will give people the world. There's people like me who will feed you before I feed myself. I will give you food off my plate, even if that meant that I wasn't eating. And, well, oh, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Not gonna lie. But it's just like some people, you just have to let them be their own person and grow in their own way, and for you to just be there, you know? Like, you could sit there, want to pet a cactus all day, but babe, you're getting, like, the spikes are sticking in your fucking hands, and you could see that it's hurting you. So it's like, maybe I could wear safety gear, but all of a sudden I take off the gloves and I'm still having spikes in my spine, sorry. So it's like, you know what? I could love you from afar. And the thing is, I'm a genuine and I am a loving person. So respectfully, it's like, you go do your own thing and I'll do mine. And I hope you're happy. And I'm glad with myself that I gave you the love, the care, the nourishment that I felt you needed. But my place here is finished, you know? I helped you as much as I felt I could. So now you're on your own, you know? I have to prioritize myself and my well being, because if neglecting myself came with you, like just hurting me for what I was doing for you and giving to you, then respectfully, I can't do it anymore. And as much as I wanted to, I just couldn't. And I just had to come to the realization that, well, as much as I didn't want to be as much as I didn't want for it to be this way, it needed to. And that's when you separate the need from the want, you know? We need lungs to breathe. We need our heart to pump blood throughout our body. We need our brain to think and our nervous system to send signals to our brain of what's going on. But for certain individuals, it's like you could want them to be the one, but at the end of the day, if you don't need it, you don't. And the thing about love is like, I want love, you know? I want love. I want, emphasis on want. I want to know how it feels to have someone to just cherish me, to want me for me not having to give you more than I give myself in order for me to be enough and for that to be okay. And that's when I realized love is just a want, and it's not something that's a necessity, because if something's hurting you, well, it's not something that you need, you know. A vape is something I want to do. It's not something I need to do. It's not something that's bringing beneficial nutrients to my body. So it's like, as much as I want to do it, I don't need to do it because it's hurting me. That's how it is for certain individuals. It's like, you could want them there as much as you want them there, but you don't need them there, because if they're hurting you, what you need to do is prioritize yourself. And that's exactly what I did. And that's what brought me to today of being alone again. But I would much rather be alone than have someone there who's hurting me, because, well, it hurts to hurt and it sucks to suck. But I would rather be a sucker than succumb up to the expectations that are just unrealistic and out of this world. So all I could do for myself is be there for myself, and I suppose for the time being, just be the shoulder that I need to lean on until maybe one day someone sells me a reality that again feels true, even though it's not, and then they're fucking someone on the side. But that's just because I've been let down many times, so that's just how I see it. But I'm realistic. But as I said, like, you know, you don't know how the shoe fits until you wear it. So don't judge a book by its cover, and just try not to understand things that you don't understand, because until the day it is you won't understand it. So just don't like put too much judgment on something that you just don't get.